Hi everyone, it is 8:35. I'm late to the party, and I've had to do this twice now, so I'm a little bit frustrated. I actually recorded a vlog, and it was more than 15 minutes, and apparently I can't, have a video that's more than 15 minutes. Fuck. So now I've went ahead and upgraded my account, so now we can have videos that are more than 15 minutes long. Thank you, YouTube, for making things more complicated than they need to be. But that's not the only reason I'm frustrated, folks. No, it's this is a video log about the Mass Effect 3 extended cut DLC ending. Now, for those of you who aren't aware or who are new to the series or whatever, I'm gonna give a brief summarization. The Mass Effect 3 had a controversial ending. And that's putting it a little bit mildly. Fans were pissed as hell, and they even started petitions and raising money. I think one raised like $40,000 just to get a good ending, just to get a better ending for Mass Effect 3. Fans were fucking outraged that the series ended the way it did. And I'll link a video that has some reasons to why fans hated the ending. I'll link a video to that. So anyway, BioWare comes on and says, "Oh, don't worry, we'll give you guys all the closure and everything you need." And they promise us the extended cut DLC, which is not going to change the ending. It's going to elaborate and expand upon the one that they already have given us, and it fucking sucks. I just got through playing it maybe 30 minutes ago. Again, I tried uploading a vlog right off the bat, and it's I think it's best that it didn't, because it was 30 minutes of incoherent rambling. Now I'm a little bit. I've got my thoughts collected. I'm good. Yada yada. Long and short of it is, it sucked, and I'm gonna get into why. The extended cut, for you to access the extended cut, you download it and you have to replay the ending sequence, starting from the Cerberus mission, where you go and you take out Cerberus, you attack their headquarters. And from there, with the extended cut DLC, everything's pretty much the same as with the regular ending, up until you have to run to the beam, and Harbinger fucking drops down, because apparently direct intervention was necessary. Harbinger drops down and starts blasting the fuck out of everything. And that's where the ending falls apart. I'll get to that later. But everything is the same up to there. Everything is the same up to that point. And then Harbinger drops down, starts blasting everything, and the first thing you'll notice is that it's actually a pretty cool sequence. You're running through with your party members. Actually, they're there with you, running through the blast, and all of a sudden, they blast a tank. Harbinger blasts a tank, and it lands and flips in front of you, and it lands like a couple inches from your feet. Kind of an intense moment. And then another tank gets blasted and bounces off that tank, and almost lands on your party members. Now, I have romance tally, so this coming up was one of the scenes coming up was actually one of the bits I actually approved of. I actually liked about the extended DLC. Apparently, Joker. Once the tank bounces off another tank, Shepard says, "Okay, fuck this. Hey, Joker, we need you to come down and evac. We need an evac, for Tally and for Garrus, because that's who I had with me." That makes fucking sense, because it's not like these characters have established from very early on that they're in for the duration, that no matter what happens, they're with you, because that's in character for them. For things to get crazy. Oh, let's get out of here. Because that's in character. That works. And that's their explanation for why your party members are with Joker when he crashes on that planet. And I'll get to that in a second. So Shepard goes up. He goes up into the beam. He kills Marauder Shields, that patriotic bastard that tried to protect us from this shitty ending, which it is. Shepard goes up the beam. He deals with the elusive man. Anderson gets shot. Anderson dies. And then he goes up and he talks with the Godchild. And that's when things get a little bit different. See, they actually have the Godchild, and they have dialogue options where you can ask him about everything. What the thing is, what he is, where did he come from, yada yada. Well, apparently, he's an AI built by a long dead civilization, and that the Reapers are actually the people who built it. And he had taken them, and and to avoid conflict, he took them, turned them into the Reapers, processed them, made them the Reapers, and that's what they are. So apparently Cthulhu decided it would be a good idea, decided he needed a robot helper, and robot helper wouldn't have any of that. See, Wally killed Cthulhu. Anyway, he's talking with the shepherd is talking with the Godchild. He tells you that he's from the long lost civilization, and he explains vaguely at best. He doesn't really give much of an explanation, but he explains that what the Crucible does. That the Crucible is basically a power source. The Crucible is a big old battery. It's just a big thing. It generates energy. That's all it does, and it uses the mass relays and the Citadel to coordinate it, to use it basically, and that's how it would supposedly kill all the Reapers everywhere. So he explains that, and he explains everything, and when he's explaining your choices for the endings, he actually explains those a little bit. A little more in depth. Not much. Again, they're still keeping with the theme of not telling us fucking everything. No closure. Keeping with that theme. He doesn't tell you much, but he tries. He explains a little. So I go, and I pick the Destroy ending. Because fuck everything else, it's the only thing that makes sense. You telling me that the thing that the villain was doing the entirety of the series, the Elusive Man, you're telling me that the Elusive Man now was right? The villain was right? Fuck you. You telling me that Reaper code, Reaper tech mixed with humans for the synthesis ending, that's gonna make space magic? No, it's gonna make fucking cannibals, husks, it's gonna make banshees, Krogan, and marauders. That's what it's gonna fucking make. Not goddamn space magic. No, that's dumb. The Destroyer ending was the only one that made sense to me, so I picked the Destroyer ending, and I blew it the fuck up. I blew all the Reapers up. And you see, and as the Crucible starts firing up, and again, this is where the extended cut pretty much takes over. The regular cut is gone. The Crucible starts firing up, and Admiral Hackett says, "Oh shit, this thing's about to get started. We gotta get the hell out of here." And they all get out. They all bail. They leave, including Joker, and including your party members. They all get the hell out of there, and they say they're going to the rendezvous point. So they all get the fuck out of there. They all retreat. Crucible activates, the Reapers die, the mass relays are destroyed, and it goes into an epilogue sequence. Once everything's done. Once, the mass relays are destroyed and Joker crashes on the jungle planet, then the epilogue starts. And what we have for this epilogue is concept art. We have Admiral Hackett monologuing over concept art. And what it is we see Miranda and Liara sitting down looking over Thessia. That's it. We see Jacob sitting with his scientists, and that's it. We see Kasumi sitting looking at her memories of Keiji on her gray box, and that's it. We see Rex and them going back to Tuchanka, and we see Rex with baby Krogan, and that's it. There is no closure to this DLC, and that's the worst fucking part. It didn't expand upon everything. An extended cut is a good description. It's not an alternate cut. Nothing is different. Nothing is fucking different about this thing. It is just longer. It's fucking longer. So you're right. It is an extended cut. BioWare, good job on that. It shows the concept art shows the Quarians walking, and you have Hackett monologuing about how, this was a victory for all races everywhere, and how they will rebuild, and how they do rebuild. And there are, there's concept art of, the Krogan rebuilding Tuchanka. You see like a construction site in the background, and Rex looking over plans, like blueprints, like fuckers at a construction site. You see the Quarians walking, I guess. Nothing on the Rachni or the Geth though, suspiciously. I guess they didn't think that was a necessary thing to throw in there. I mean, no, it's not like there would have been. It's not like there could have been any interesting bits, about a race, two races that, for all extents and purposes, have been the enemies of the galaxy for a long time now. Nothing on that. I guess they didn't think that was important enough to throw in there. Fuck you, BioWare. And at the very end, after the monologue, after all that, at the very end, there's the breath sequence. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'll link all the videos that need to help support that there's nothing fucking wrong, or just to give people context about what I'm talking about. I'll link all that shit. But there's the breath sequence. Now, in the regular cut of the ending, and in the extended cut apparently now, Shepard, the only way Shepard survives is in the destroy ending. And, it shows him, basically, it's a breath scene. It's, shows him lying under rubble, and then it cuts to credits. And that's it. Now, I believe in the indoctrination theory. So again, this has been an extended cut. They took all this time and explained fucking nothing. Only to leave us with a breath sequence as the last thing we see. Oh, and there's the Stargazer scene, but fuck that. All we get is the breath sequence. We get the fucking breath sequence, like we did at the end of the DLC. Now, I believe in the indoctrination theory, and I think the breath sequence is one of the more important and one of the bigger pieces of evidence. He tells if the only way for us to live was not destroying the Reapers, was the control or synthesis ending. I mean, if Shepard wasn't going to come out of any of these, especially not the destroy ending, why does he? The point of all this 13 minutes and 22 seconds that I've been ranting, is that nothing has changed. There is still no closure. There is still strong evidence that the indoctrination theory is in play. That it's all just in Shepard's head. Everything after he gets blasted by Harbinger, it's just in his head. There is all that, and it's still all there. Nothing has fucking changed. Fuck you, BioWare. Fuck you. For thinking that a series as big as Mass Effect wouldn't, that has spanned 3 games worth of choices and playthroughs and characters, that it wouldn't require some answers. Fuck you. Fuck you. Nothing has changed, folks. And the worst part, they could have done this. They should have done this. They've done epilogues right before. Have you ever played Dragon Age Origins? Well, they did it right there. I'll link a video to that. They have epilogues that come out and tell you, oh, well, this happened, this happened, this happened, and this happened. You side. There's a scene. If you side with the Dalish elves, the forest elves, basically, over the werewolves. If you pick the werewolves over the forest elves, it tells you that the werewolves just can't control their bestial side, and that they have to go back, and that they return to the forest to stay alone. If you side with the dwarf about I remember both of the dwarven ones. If you had the dwarven king that's all about dwarven tradition, then the dwarves recede further and further from the rest of society, and nothing changes. They become static, and they sort of disappear from the rest of the world. Now, but if you choose the other king, who is pro working with the rest of the world, then dwarves lose their culture. They lose a lot of what made the dwarves dwarves, because they become so integrated with the rest of society. Um, if you don't kill the dragon for the Andraste's ashes, when you go to kill that, you go to get Andraste's ashes. If you don't kill the dragon, then he's still there. He goes and he raises a village. He destroys a fucking village. My point is that BioWare has done epilogues right. Why couldn't we have gotten a couple text screens telling us, oh, Shepard went on to do more Space Batman and Dirty Harry stuff. If you romance Liara, why couldn't we have gotten stuff saying, oh, well, Liara has your baby, and they have lots of little blue children. You know, he has twins! Fuck yes! Why couldn't we have gotten something that Tally made best friends with a geth, who was helping her adapt to the Rannoch environment system? Why couldn't we have gotten something like that? There are no fucking answers. We don't figure out if the Krogan integrate successfully back into society. We don't figure out if the Krogan and Turians still hate each other. We don't figure out what happens with the Rachni, or the Geth, or the Quarians, or the fucking humans. Nothing is explained. And that's fucking unacceptable. We are exactly where we were when the first engine came out. We are exactly where we were before the DLC. Nothing has changed. Fuck you, BioWare. Fuck you. Just fuck off. That's really all I can say. I'll link a video in the description about the Dragon Age Origins epilogue. I'll link one to that. I'll link the indoctrination theory. I'll link some videos to that. I'll link some videos as to why. I'll link a video as to why fans hated the Mass Effect 3 ending anyway. This is unacceptable, BioWare. We expected so much more of you. We as fans expected so much more. Fuck off.